Yeah, what I want to talk to you guys about is how to understand how to write a good story. Now, writing good stories, aside from being a novelist, can actually be a good thing. It is also needed for other things, such as what I discussed in some of my other how-to videos, like how to make music. For all of the videos I discussed about subjects, I always did discuss that it's always good to write a story. And the point of a story is to give you a clear idea of what you're going to do. Even when if you're learning how to draw, it's good to write a story if you're coming up with your own creative idea. Okay? And honestly, for this story, and people have probably wondered, like, how exactly do you write a good story? And I think the best method to write a good story is to simply find a subject that you're interested in. Okay, like, of course, if you're interested in maybe like science fiction, what type of science fiction are you interested in? If it's spaceships, what type of spaceships, what kind of story, spaceships type of stuff, what are you interested in exactly, what kind of style? I think this should be the easiest part, um to be honest with you. So in general, that's what you simply need to do, is you just simply need to just focus pretty much on just exactly what you're focused on. Okay? What you're interested in. And once you focus on what you're interested in, uh, you can also start working on you can also start working on many on the action, on how to make the story interesting. Because what you want to do, if you want to write a good story, for part two, I'll discuss how to write the story faster. But if you want to write a good quality story, you know, to be honest with you, one thing you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to be a very descriptive person, okay? Because the more descriptive you are, the more your audience will get into it. Because honestly, the more in sorry, with the saliva sound, just that I have a lot of saliva, just dumb stuff, just, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, like what I was saying before, I think it's good when you focus, um when you focus on being descriptive, you're more likely to actually write a better quality story. So honestly, just in general, that's what you need to do, is you just simply need to be careful. You just simply need to tell a good to be very descriptive. Because honestly, if you're the more descriptive you are in like a page of writing, and the more descriptive you are, it's usually the more interested you actually are. Uh, Means the more likely you're actually be able to act, the more you'll be likely to able to captivate the audience if they're interested in it. Because honestly, when you're being descriptive, I think what you want to do is you just simply is honestly, well, I should say, when you're really descriptive, what it does is it gets the audience really interested in it, because it has a good quality storyline. It has a good quality storyline. Like, it has something very interesting. You're it has a lot of details that it answers. The more you're descriptive, you'll actually notice that you actually answer a lot of plot questions, plot holes you might reread and think, think it's a plot hole, but then you reread it again, and you actually realize you actually did explain it already. Okay, why this happened. And that's just being descriptive, very descriptive. And you even answer a lot of the 5 W's without even realizing it, without even planning. So, in general, when it comes to being able to make videos on YouTube, I mean, to be able to do this, and this can relate to making a full blown story, or just simply like a sheet of paper, like a short story, like a page to 2 pages or whatever long, and to be honest with you, to be descriptive, a technique I have to really get you interested in. Like, let's just say you're interested in teams, okay? Teams, to be honest with you, okay? Like, people believe that when you write a novel, it has to be like some sci-fi high-tech idea, which is cool and all, but at the same time, it does not have to just be that, okay? It could just be a good idea just relating to just a regular everyday situation. Like, for example, if you're writing something about a bunch of people who are part of a sports team, you might have an interesting concept like, for example, you might think for the sports team, this is a special kind of sports team that actually that they compete with each other at different schools. Well, of course, that's what they always do. But at the same time, they compete with each other at different schools, and they compete in a particular way, and they're at this nightclub discussing it. This is maybe in a not too distant future, like a year from now. It's televised. It's on YouTube or whatnot. It's pre-recorded. To be honest with you, pre-recorded. They have a place in their gym where they study tactics and all that sort of stuff, just in general to make them better football players, sports players or whatnot. And it's very exciting. It's really exciting. Because the thing about it is that for this story, there is no holding back. Okay, there is no holding back when it comes to this idea. When it comes to this new football idea, okay, it just matters of how well you can do, and the more views you get online, the the everything is pre-recorded and uploaded to YouTube. I know people say they already do that, but they actually have a bit of a chart. And the more you get yourself out there, the more you get to be able to be seen around the world, okay? And they have a site that just uploads it, and it's like this for all the different competitions, okay? Depending on how well you played, and no matter how well you played, it automatically shows up. So in general, it doesn't have to be too far distant of the future. What I'm trying to say overall is that if you're writing a good story, no matter what subject it is, as an easy way to get yourself interested in, to really sum it up, just simply come up with a very good idea. It could be a story about somebody being in a forest or something. You might simply say, to defend himself from a jaguar, he was smart enough to use like a gold-plated, to use maybe like a certain type of rifle. He was very smart. He used a type of rifle that for example, might have that had flares to it, because they do actually have bullets that actually have flares that, let's just say, for the jaguar, it messed up their eyesight, okay? Because honestly, he knew that he didn't have a choice. So honestly, to come up with a good story for any situation, just simply think of a very good idea, to get yourself interested, a very good idea that you find interesting, you think would be a cool idea if it actually was reality, or maybe it could be reality, but it's more updated to you, and at the same time, it's something that not only is interesting, but interesting to you, and of course you try to make sure it's interesting to the viewers, but at the same time, it's something you actually think would actually make sense if it were to actually happen, to just really give that depth, to give that realism, and make you feel more proud of what you've accomplished, because because honestly, for any situation, um, whether it could be a story about somebody canoeing or whatnot, you might simply say, he had a special kind of canoe that was made out of this kind of wood. Like, let's just say, they might have had a special kind of canoe that was made out of this type of wood that that made it better to float. It had a special luxury. It was a luxurious type of one. You might say something like, it was a maple wood, so it kind of made it a bit rougher because of the stickiness of it to make your muscle stronger. Like this is like I don't know if these things would actually work, but it's just to give you an example. You know, just try to be cool and creative for every single situation. And this is my video, and this is all I have to say.